Then I don't have to read.
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't look too bad.
Okay, so today we're going to finish up security section of the book, but before we do that, I want to at least get started on Lab 3 because there's a part of it that takes a really long time to complete. The purpose of this is my first time teaching operating systems, so I'm going to try and, I want to get to the point to where our classes can be recompiling the kernel and modifying them to see all the different capabilities we're doing. So one of the first labs is to actually get the kernel compiled. And have any of you all done that before? Recompiled the kernel?
I had to compile an Xbox driver if that counts.
That's close. Chris, have you had to do it yet?
What?
Recompile the Linux kernel?
No. I needed the newer kernel to be able to do that.
So that's installing. Okay.
So I had to
update the kernel.
Update. This is just updating a package. All right. So it is a little more involved, but once you do it once or twice, it's really easy to do. You just have to be careful of a couple of gotchas. But the other thing you need to keep in mind is you want to do this inside of a virtual machine your first time, because if you accidentally overwrite your kernel, your whole system could be hosed. So a lot of different things just to keep in mind.
Note to self, do it on the Chromebook.
Woo! You just have to reinstall everything. All right, so I'm going to start with Lab 3, which is basic kernel development. We're going to go through this right now because I've done this many times, and I don't know which parts are confusing and which parts aren't. So please help me as I go through this. And there's going to be a part towards the end where we're going to stop, namely when you compile the entire kernel, because that takes a very long time to complete. And then we'll go to lecture, and then maybe we'll return back to what we need to do. All right, so first off,
so are we supposed to be doing this right now?
I highly recommend you do this with me if you want to save time, because then you'll be doing the lab right now, or you can just watch and
That's
do it
a big
again.
file to download, though, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not?
No, go ahead and download. It's real simple. So first off, you want to install some type of virtualization software. Oh yeah, by the way, this project, we're going to do basic kernel development by recompiling our kernel and adding our own system call to it to just show that we can actually do it. Yeah, you want network install. Keep in mind that some parts of this project, or lab, I should say, will take a long time to compile. I don't believe any one part of this is difficult, but if you do mess up on certain parts, you have to restart the whole thing. So just be careful when you're going through it, step by step, and if you have questions, talk to me. And by the way, if you have to restart doing this whole procedure over again, don't feel bad. That's probably normal. You'll get used to it pretty quickly. It's not hard.
That doesn't sound intuitive.
You're dealing with the kernel, so sometimes you can mess up the whole thing. That's the only problem. So first off, install virtualization software. Hopefully you've all done this.
What's a virtualization software?
So like VMware, VirtualBox, KVM, Zen, any of those. I'm going to run with VirtualBox because I'm going to tell you to use it so I can at least answer some questions about it. It's probably the simplest one, which is why I like to tell people to use it. Not necessarily the most efficient, but it has a nice, easy, intuitive interface. So once you install VirtualBox or whatever system you want, usually you load it up, and my VirtualBox looks something like this. Wow, I have a lot of virtual machines. Next, you want to download the Debian network install.
64-bit.
Download Debian 9.2.
30 minutes later.
Oh, is it going to be 30 minutes?
Mine's at halfway right now. Oh, yeah, that's a big file.
Oh, yeah. I tried to download it this morning, and it took about half a minute.
Half a minute?
Half a minute.
When did you do that? Like 4:30 a.m. or at home?
Oh, 6:30?
At home.
No, here. I got 11 megabytes a second.
I kind of don't believe that. I mean, I guess no one was using it, but still.
It was pretty nice. It was very nice. I've already saved this. Is yours still downloading?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost downloaded, though.
Okay.
Oh, this is
Currently, I'll watch the video later.
I'll give you a little more time.
You're going to give me 30 minutes?
No.
Okay, well then I'm not going to have a VirtualBox.
No, okay.
And I really don't think I want to do it on my work terminal's primary operating system.
No, you can do it. You do it in VirtualBox so that when you mess up, You just
Right.
redo the image.
Right. So I really don't think I want to do it on my primary operating system.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
wait
yeah, I
for
know what you mean.
virtual
Yeah,
box.
you want the virtual box first. I can't boot. Sorry. All right, I'm using Debian. It's what I'm used to. If you really want to, you could probably find a different package to use, although I may not be able to help you as
4
much.
minutes.
4 minutes. Oh, well, that's improved.
34 seconds.
At this rate, you'll be done in 10 seconds, right? You just went from 30 minutes to 4 in the past 10 seconds. So,
But that conversation took 10 seconds and I'm still at 3.5 minutes. So.
well, now see, only 10 seconds takes 30 seconds. So now that means,
Oh, I'm down to 2 minutes.
wow. See, this is like the time warp back there.
30 seconds.
Is this for VirtualBox or for Debian?
Virtual box.
Oh man, you got to sell VirtualBox. Okay, well, it might not be able to wait for you.
20
Wish there was a way I could
seconds.
pause recording on my software.
You can't.
Yeah,
That's pretty sad.
it is. You got
1 minute, 7 seconds.
Oh no, I downloaded the wrong one.
Are you going to solid state or a spinning disk?
I'm assuming spinning disk.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna take forever on the image.
So when you say this thing takes
Yeah,
a
I've only got
while
4
to
days of RAM.
compile,
It took
to find a while.
It took me an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 30 minutes.
To install.
No, to compile the kernel. But you only have to compile it once. Afterwards, you only need to update the part that you're changing.
Assuming you don't have to do it twice.
Right. Hence why please get started early. How's it going?
Yeah, it just finished.
All right,
Sweet.
so
So this might be better to do at my home machine.
yes. So go ahead and under VirtualBox, we'll create a new virtual machine. I'm going to call it the good old Kernel Hacker. We'll tell it I'm using Linux, the flavor.
If you have to be
Debian's-
interested in that kernel.
What? Okay.
Welcome.
He's hacking things.
Yeah, we're hacking
Memory-
Pentagon right now.
All right, memory size. 1 gig is plenty. If you want a GUI, you may want to give yourself more RAM, but I don't use GUIs. They're for the weak. But if you want to use a GUI, I recommend a little more RAM just because, and it doesn't really matter. That's plenty. Create a hard drive now.
A virtual hard disk?
Yeah, virtual hard disk. It doesn't matter which type. Dynamically allocate, so it doesn't try and allocate the whole thing. And we'll go ahead and give it 30 gigs.
Ouch.
All right. Once that is done, select the kernel hacker, select settings, and you want to hook up the CD-ROM. So go back over to storage, go to empty, click this little disk, choose virtual optical disk. I have a nice ISO directory with all my ISOs in it. Hey, look at all that stuff.
So find the disk.
Yeah, the Debian-9. It's probably under downloads or wherever you downloaded it. So here it is. We're going to click OK, and then we're going to click Start. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this auto capture on the keyboard. I prefer the regular install because the GUI graphical one is cluttered. Now, depending on how fast your machine is, it'll either boot really quickly or take forever. I recommend English. You can try some other ones, but I recommend English. The US, UK might not be that bad, but US, American English. All right, and then we'll go and load up its lovely components.
Oh, you're catching up with me. Or you're about to pass me.
Are you on a spinning disk or are you?
Oh, I beat you. Never mind.
Oh yes, now I'll try and do the network connection. If you're not using VMware, not using VirtualBox, the default network here is an internal, or just a NAT, I should say. So it'll do standard DHCP with no problem. Go and give it a funny host name, whatever you want.
Do we have to remember the name?
Yeah, not at all.
Okay, so
And I don't put in a domain name, but you will want to put in a root password that you can remember, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
no domain name.
No domain name. Make sure root password, doesn't really matter. Re-enter to verify. And it wants to have a username, so go ahead and give yourself your name. and a username for your account, and then you're going to want to put in some passwords for it. As you can see, I've done this numerous times because I just do it automatically.
It's the same password.
When it asks to verify,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. This is not supposed to be a secure operating system. You're really just going to log in as root, so that other username was pointless. Really just remember your root username, and you're going to log in as root and do everything there just to make life easy, so you don't have any permissions problems. All right, your time zone, we're Eastern. All right, partitioner. To make our lives easier, I recommend you do a manual partition.
That sounds not easier.
Go down to the SCSI SDA or whatever it presented itself with. It may be HDA instead of SDA. It's probably SDA nowadays, but select that. Oh, are you on the screen, Matt?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Create a new empty partition. Yep. Free space. Create a new partition. Go ahead and let's see what do we want. 30.0 gigabytes. That sounds great.
Do you have to type the GB?
Yeah, you have to type GB. Primary.
Do you need a space or does it?
I put in a space. Make it primary and beginning. Now AXT4 is good. Make sure the mount point is / which should be the default. Then done setting up this partition. Then highlight the next free space. Hit enter. Create a new partition. Go ahead and stick with the default. What was that, 2.2? Sounds great. Go ahead and make it primary just to make our lives easier. And this time you want to go to use as and select swap. So it's the actual swap area.
Use as swap area.
Yep. Done. Finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Do you want to write this? Yes. And then it'll just do it. Now it's going to install a very base system with just the necessary components and nothing more. Need like elevator music.
It's a little too graphical for me.
Too graphically intense.
Yeah.
You like that little shadow effect it has right here?
It's too much.
That's pretty slick. It's like it's coming out of the page. It's kind of over here too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
And the one at the bottom.
I like how my mouse pointer's down here. All right, any disk to scan? Nope. Let's see, well, you want to find a mirror? Make sure you find a US mirror. You probably don't want to trust anything like right there. I wouldn't trust that. Let's stick with the US for now.
Why not?
You can select a different one if you want to, but Debian.org has always been a good mirror for me. We don't have a proxy, so we're good to go. It's going to scan the mirror. When I did this, it took it less than 10 seconds. As I can tell, it's going to take a little longer, but hopefully it won't take too long. This is, yeah, just getting the latest from the mirror so you can have any additional packages you want.
Did you say some part of this takes like an hour?
Yes, it's not this part.
Alright, I was curious.
When that was coming, oh, we haven't gone there yet.
Have you seen that like 32 thread, 16 core?
Oh
AMD
yes, the
processor?
thread, yeah.
I saw it on Slick Deals and I was like, I need to buy this.
All right, if you want to be part of the popularity contest, you can. It doesn't matter, but I say no because I'm like that.
Wait, popularity contest?
Just to see which programs are fun. Most people. Oh, are you not up to that screen yet?
I'm retrieving files, 1 of 1. Is this because it's running on the CSU Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, if you're on the Wi-Fi. That's
I
fine.
probably should have just tethered my phone. That would have been faster.
I don't know. You're gonna eat up a lot of data.
Unlimited.
Oh, okay. Are you ever throttled at any point?
I do get terrible service in half the places though.
Oh, what network are you on? T-Mobile. Oh, okay. All right. Well, hopefully you can remember this screen. This is just to help you select a giant group of software that you want. If you really want a GUI, you want the Debian desktop environment, and you're going to want to use something else, either GNOME, XFCE, KDE, Cinnamon, Mate, or LXD. XFCE is a very simple, small one. GNOME is kind of like Windows. KDE, actually I take KDE and GNOME, you'd have to really look up and see which one you like. But you know me, I think GUIs are for the weak, so I'm disabling them. That way it will also install faster.
I think I might have just screwed something up. I hit, because you were on the top one and you hit the thing to make it go away. didn't
Oh yeah,
you?
I still got to download some stuff. Oh wait, you
Yeah.
oh no, you're downloading the whole network. Yeah, you screwed it up. You're going to be there forever. Unless you can hit escape and get out of it.
That was stupid, because like, I hit the thing and it was on the top,
Yep.
so I'm screwed.
Yeah. You start
You
over.
downloaded the GUIs?
Huh? He's downloading the GUIs right
All
now.
of the GUIs?
You're downloading the default small GUI.
Do I need to download that SSH thing too?
I recommend it, although no, you're not needed. But the SSH allows you to remote into the machine from another machine.
But we don't need that.
No, and you can also install it later.
Now this is going like so slow.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever. Yep.
Ah,
Oh well, at least I'm recording, right?
yep.
So I'm gonna hit next. Now it's gonna retrieve those files that it needs. Looks, it only needs 140 as opposed to
1478.
1,478. Wow, by a factor of 10. All right, we'll see who finishes first.
Do you think if I tethered it to my phone in the middle that it would break?
Yes. Well,
Because it's in the virtual
Ooh.
machine.
yeah, maybe if
so-
you disable the network, you could restart it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, but
This is sad.
it is really sad.
Because I was like, no, I don't want this. I'm going to click enter so it goes away. and
Oh
then-
no, space bar.
Yeah.
Ah,
So you might want to specify
Okay,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's go over here and fix that.
Well, I mean, you might have in your note things, but not
Nope.
when you said it.
Nope, because that's how it's always been, so I never thought to change it.
I'm really just buying myself 13 minutes and 50 seconds here.
Yeah, good luck with that. We'll go ahead and change that now.
Tether.
So this is with task select.
Oh, I'm on the applied networking one. That's weird.
So we're gonna go text BF warning, select and deselect with space bar, not enter. There we go. Good call.
Ooh, I really shot myself in the foot now. That just broke it.
All right. Now it's going to ask. This seems to be the only OS. Can we just install the grub bootloader to the master boot record? Hey, the master boot record hopefully sounds familiar. Select yes. Go ahead and put it to /dev/SDA. It may be HDA, but just make it to the only hard drive that exists. Go. I'm going to install it. It's going to actually set up a couple more things for you. Go and click continue. It's going to then request rebooting. All right, now it's going to come up with this GNU Grub. I'm pushing up and down to stop it from automatically booting into things. If you don't hit a key, it will automatically boot within 5 seconds. Once you hit a key, it'll pause, wait for you to do something. I just wanted to pause here to show you a couple of things. This is the bootloader for your operating system or systems. If you had dual boot, you could put Windows on here as well as other flavors of Linux if you so chose. Up and down. Okay, E to edit the commands before booting, C for the command line. All right, the big thing here is if you hit E, you can actually go in and see all the different options. It's loading. Wow, Grub has gotten really complicated as of late. But the only one we really need to look at is this Linux boot /boot VM Linux 4.9.0-8-AMD64. That is where your kernel is located on this machine. So the kernel binary is located right here. And these are parameters you can send to it. So it's telling it where the root device is, SDA1, boot it read-only, make it quiet so it doesn't spit out a bunch of information while it's booting. I can hit escape to get back out, and when I'm on this screen, when you want to actually boot something, you highlight it and hit enter, and now it'll actually boot into the machine. All right, yes, mouse pointer integration, and now I'm loaded. No GUIs make things load fast. All right, so I can log in as root, and now I'm root. Okay. So we have a default installation. First thing you want to do is install some packages necessary to, one, to grab the Linux kernel, and two, just a couple of tools in order to compile it. So you want to go apt-get install, and I forgot the list, but I definitely wrote them down. C++, Linux, make, and ncurses, dev, and BC. All right. Linux is a text-based web browser. G++, ncurses/dev, and make and BC. You hit enter afterwards. It'll ask, do you want everything? You hit yes, and it'll go out and grab it.
Oh no, I'm just redoing things.
Okay.
I was wondering if I got on my phone Wi-Fi now, so hopefully it's faster. Might catch back up.
We'll see. Maybe. There'll be a part here where we pause for a moment. All right. Now that everything's installed, we need to actually grab the latest version of the kernel, or latest stable version. To that, type in links, and then just kernel.org to go to the Linux kernel website. It gives you this beautiful text-based interface. You want to go down to where it says latest stable under download. Right now it's 4.13.10. Of course, it may be a later version, and that's perfectly fine. But you want to make sure that whatever's here is at least 4.9 in order to work with this version of Debian. I'm going to go ahead and download it. After I hit enter while highlighting it, it's going to ask me if I want to de-download or C-cancel, so D to download it. And now we're going to go ahead and try and download the file. I'm getting done. Almost 2 kilobits. Oh, kilobytes, never mind.
Beginning?
Yes, beginning.
Okay. I remember that one from last time. It was sketchy.
Everything going on?
Yeah, I'll do this. Watch the video.
Oh, I'm just downloading it.
You watched the Astros game?
Yeah, that was crazy. Well, I didn't watch the. I watched game 4. I didn't watch game 5. I wish I watched game 5 when I woke up. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and save it
Oh
to
Lord.
save it to disk.
How do I go back?
After it's been saved, notice I highlighted save, hit enter. I will quit. And now ls. I used to have that Linux. It's a tar exzip. So let's go ahead and extract it. This might take a little while. Oh, extract tar xvf, and then the file name. And this is the full Linux kernel with all the possible modules you would ever want for whatever reason.
What is the XVF stand
Which one?
for? XVF.
Extract, aka extract this, whatever I'm giving you. V means verbose, tell me everything it's extracting, so that's why it's spitting all the file names out. And then F means the input is from a file, and then you pass the file. Because the input could be from standard in.
So if you left the V out, you don't have to see that.
Yeah, you wouldn't see this, it would just be sitting there.
That
Blinking.
doesn't look as cool.
No, it really doesn't. They need to have a progress bar
I think,
version.
yeah, I was about to say, I don't think the problem would be like, no, this probably isn't doing anything.
Yes, it
Well, you can see it's up to tools, vert. Yeah, now we're done.
Yeah.
Okay, So now we're in here. Let's go ahead and do cd into Linux, and if you do a du, 887 megs, and this is all source code.
What does DU do?
Oh, du tells you how much disk usage. Yes, basically everything, make it human readable. So right now the Linux kernel is 887 million bytes of straight source code. Well, there might be a couple of binary things in there, but not much. All right, once you're in here, very, very important, do not forget this step. You need to copy the config for the entire system over to the local config. That way, when you recompile the kernel, you are compiling all the modules that Debian needs. So you need cp from /boot/config. Right now, mine is 4.9.0-4-AIM-64. It may be a little different, but it needs to have config dash and then some version number that's at least 4.9. And copy it to .config. Once that's done, you want to do make menu config, which is going to create another beautiful text-based GUI to select all the options to compile your kernel. Now, if you have a full GUI, you can do make xconfig, and it'll be a huge GUI where you can point, click, and everything. But I don't like doing that. All right. So this is where you can select all the different options for your kernel. One thing I want you to show is if you want to make sure you go to load, and you want to load from the .config. You may see in the background a couple of error messages. That's fine. That just means there were a couple of things that didn't match up, but that's going to be okay moving forward. And that'll load the config from the base system into this kernel compilation. All right, what are we looking at? We're looking at all the options that you can use in order to compile the kernel right now. We have not modified the source code. We have the source code, so we can go in and change some of it, but we haven't modified any of it yet. But I want to show you what you can select, at least unselect.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Did we just want the SSH one?
Yeah. Oh, and the last
print?
one.
Do we want print?
No, not the print.
So
What was
just
the last
these
one?
two.
Yeah, it's standard system
Okay.
utilities. Yeah. Power management, you can just turn that off if you want to. Notice I'm using the space bar. The more you turn off, the less compilation there will be. By the way, M stands for module, if you remember from module loading. And the star means compile it into the kernel. Let's see, bus options, we probably should have a PCI bus. Executable formats, yeah, we're going to have at least some. Networking support. I don't think we need amateur radio. We don't need a CAN bus. We don't need that. We're not using Bluetooth. I guess we're going to have to keep that. I'm deselecting some of these to try and make the compilation take less time. Device drivers, we don't need a parallel port. We do need block devices. Most of the time it's best to go ahead and just leave it all. I'm going to just let it go for now. I'll take off virtualization. All right, I took off a couple of things. Maybe that'll help. You can go in there and look at all the different options you have. And everything we've talked about, actually, there's an option in here for if you wanted to go look at it. But we're going to go ahead and just exit. And it's going to, do you want to save it? Of course, we want to hit save. All right. Now, here comes the extremely long step. We're going to type in the word make, and then when we hit enter, it's going to take a while. Last time I did this, it took about an hour, almost an hour and a half to complete. So, and I think actually if you do make J2, you can add 2 processes to it, so that if you have multiple cores, or you assign multiple cores, you can hopefully make it twice as fast. But I'm just going to put in make for now and let it start. So you put in make, now it's going to just start compiling a bunch of stuff. And we're going to pause the video here, and we're going to talk about our topic today with security, because this is just going to take forever. But before I go on, any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do I do here?
What do I do here? Yes. It's the second
The bottom one.
Yeah, you got it.
Cool.
Any other questions? Nope. All right. Well, we're just gonna have this go. Hopefully it'll be done by the end of class.
Wait, is that all we have to do though?
So far,
Oh, there's more after that?
oh yeah. Hopefully I'll get to it.